homemade sausage rolls with American ingredients. So the first thing we're going to do is take those meat ingredients that I showed you earlier in the video. I'm adding a secret ingredient that I didn't show, and it's just some sun-dried tomatoes that I've finally diced up. Beautiful little mix. Okay, to that I'm going to add some breadcrumbs. As you can see, I don't have a measurement. With the breadcrumbs, I'm pretty liberal. I'll put them aside because I'll probably use them again. I'm also going to add an egg. So I've got 2 eggs. 1 egg is going to be for the brushing on the top later on. And I'm just going to quickly grab all these other ingredients so you can see what I'm doing here, guys. And with my fork, I'm going to give it a quick stir in, get that egg in there. Prepared to get your hands messy. It happens. Make sure you wash them, obviously. And a bit of steak seasoning. Not too much of that. Now you can go for garlic powder or garlic, fresh garlic. In my case, a bit of garlic salt. So I'm adding that little bit of salt component as well. And pretty liberal with it. This stuff I've just found recently, it is amazing if I can get it open. And it's called Tajín, I think Tajín Classic Seasoning. And it's got lime in it, so I'm really liberal with that. Probably a little bit too liberal, but it'll work. And the last part of the seasoning add-on is your Italian seasoning herbs. Okay, so quite a few of those. And then I'm simply just going to mix all that stuff in. Let's get that happening. Thoroughly mix it right through. You want to kind of always knead into that meat mix, yeah? So you want to get it all completely in. I feel like I'm going to need some more breadcrumb in there. So I'll probably wash my hands a little bit in a minute and do that. So bear with me. This is probably the boring part of the video. I don't have any jokes. I don't think I've got any jokes. Probably not. Anyone's interested, actually, I'm selling my U2 limited edition U2 satellite navigation for your car. We recently sold our second car, so we don't have a purpose for it. Actually, to be honest, it's kind of useless because the streets have no name and we still haven't found what we're looking for. Alright, let's move on from that really bad joke, hey? Okay, let's wash our hands real quick. And like I said, I just want a little bit more texture to it, so I'm going to add some more of that beautiful breadcrumb mix. With my breadcrumb mix, I actually went out and got garlic and herb. Lots of herbs in these sausage rolls, and doesn't hurt at all. You can get any of these ingredients at your local Walmart or Aldi. If you've got a Crest or a Checkers, whatever you've got in your local area. Obviously Walmart, being in America, is a no-brainer. You can get all of this stuff from Walmart. We'll move on to the pastry in a minute. Almost done with this. So like I said, we just want to really mix that through. I want to make sure that I'm getting all the ingredients evenly distributed through this meat mix. As you noticed, we're using lamb. So ground lamb, or Australian term minced lamb, so lamb mince. That's a fairly new or very new ingredient for me. I'm finding it really nice. It's not too fatty, it's got saturated fats. Obviously lamb has high saturated fat content. However, it doesn't come out oily or anything, so you're going to get a really nice, hopefully kind of healthy sausage roll out of the mix. Not that these are healthy at all, because they're not. But yeah, there you go. Okay, so I'll quickly, it's kind of what you want, that nice consistency going on. Let's move on to our pastry mix. So I'm going to do that real quick. Magic of video, I'm going to do some editing and we'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. Like I said, magic. What we've got is our pastry. I'll quickly explain what it is. We've got 1 roll of croissant, so the croissant roll you get at Walmart or Aldi, like I said before, and 1 of the jumbo flaky biscuit mix. Now, in Australia, conventional or you know, the traditional Aussie sausage roll the easy way of doing that, if you're not going to make the pastry, is to buy a sheet of puff pastry. Found it very difficult to get that kind of sheet here in America, and over the last, I guess, 3 or 4 years of doing this, trying to perfect the pastry part of it, I've pretty much come up with this mix, and it seems to work really well. Obviously it does require us to really get those two components in together quite well, so we don't have to be too fussy about it, but I want to make sure that they're mixed in well, so we're making one pastry, not marbled or anything if we can help it. So we'll just get that kind of done fairly quickly. The next part is obviously rolling it out. So the important part I've found with this, because we're using that biscuit mix, biscuits in America, not biscuits in Australia, are like a scone mix if you're in Australia watching this. If not, hopefully you're in America and you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about biscuits. So they're very bready. So what I want to really do is make sure I get each of my sheets, as I cut them into rectangles, we'll see it soon. I want to make sure that they're very thin, so as thin as I can go, okay? Otherwise you're going to get a really bready sausage roll, and you probably don't want that. I mean, it's still nice, but I'd rather it as thin as possible. So that's looking pretty good. I'll just put that there, and I'll get our flour. We're going to put flour down here. We can use a breadboard or a cutting board. I tend to use this with granite top, nice and clean, obviously. Make sure I've cleaned it. Alrighty, so we're just going to grab a small amount, so probably a quarter of that pastry, enough for a good sized ball, I guess. As you can see, I've pre-floured my work area on my bench top, and I'm just going to flatten it out a little bit before I get crazy with the roller. But like I said earlier, we want to make sure we roll that really thin, okay? So it's got to be super thin, as thin as I can go. So get your muscles out, guys. All right, so roll away. I'm just going to do one of these and then do all the rest, get them all prepared, and then we'll go to the next step, obviously, which will be cooking it. So I'll just show you one. So I really want to get that, like I keep saying, really thin, guys. For me, getting my sausage rolls at the right consistency, and particularly with the pastry, I go as thin as I possibly can. So not wafer thin, but really get it right out there, yeah. All right, so I think that's kind of looking where I want him. Looking good. So all I'm going to do now is grab my trusty little knife, and I'm going to make a nice rectangle. So just a nice rectangle here. Hopefully my landlord won't watch this and see me cutting into the granite top. I'm being fairly safe, I promise, Clark. Alrighty, there you go. So this size for me is probably too big for the wrap, so I'm going to halve it, which is a good idea. And then all I'm going to do from there is grab some of my mince, my meat or beef, my meat mix. So I apologise for my Australian add-on there, mince. And we're going to roll it into a nice long sausage. So it's just knowing how much you really need, and then take off some or add some if you need to. I kind of calculate it, guys, measure it up to my pastry, because I'm going to need to wrap it over. So I don't want it to be too thick, but I still need it to be consistent enough. So as you can see, I needed to take off a little bit there, which is fine. And I'm just going to wrap it over. When I get to this part here, probably a little bit too thick actually, so I'll stretch it out a little bit. I don't usually do that, try not to anyway, but there you go, that'll work. All right, hope you can see that okay. I've now got a brush. If you can go and get a nice pastry brush, that's fine. I just went and got an art brush. Obviously I didn't use it for art, it's just for brushing on food. So please don't go and get one of your acrylic paint brushes, it's probably not a good idea. And we're just going to brush that side there so we can wrap it over and use it to seal it. And when I'm done, hopefully you'll get a good idea of what it looks like. I'm just going to flatten it out a little bit. I'm not looking for like super pretty or anything, but it does need to be kind of nice. I forgot one important ingredient that I've been using a lot of, so I'm going to grab that out right now. And I'm going to tell you what it is, if you can get it. It's Lawry's Cesaro Total Seasoning for cooking and grilling. So there's my little plug to Lawry's. Love your stuff. Please sponsor me and give me lots of money. All right, so that's going to go on top after I've brushed it. And what I've got is that oven egg, like I said. Some people use water with their egg wash, or they'll add milk to it, just to milk wash or milk egg wash, I don't know. I've tried all of those techniques, and to be honest, I find from the most golden top, just use an egg. Just give it a good whisk with a fork. Just need one egg. And then we're just gonna put that beautiful seasoning on top of it. Not too liberal, but obviously, as you can see what I'm doing, making sure that it's fully covered. I don't want to go stupid with it, because it's got lots of seasoning in the sausage roll already, obviously. But this will just give it that beautiful kind of look at the end of it. So there you go, there's the sausage roll. I'll do a quick video or a couple of photos maybe of the end product, but basically that's it, guys. I'm going to go and finish mine off now. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial or this recipe guide, whatever you want to call it. Hope you enjoy watching my videos, and the next one hopefully that I'll do soon in a couple of weeks will be my meat pies. Looking forward to that. Cheers. Okay, with all the prep done, hopefully we're now ready to put it in the oven. What we're going to do is stick it on a preheated oven at 390 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, for my Australian viewers right now, it's going to be 200 degrees for about 30 minutes. I set it for 30, I check it at 25. I'm going to suggest that 30 minutes would be a golden, crispy, non-burnt sausage roll. So again, I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.